Hello guys, and welcome to Peacarma Stitches. Today we're going to be making this simple free dress with ruffles on the shoulder. So if you're interested in this tutorial, kindly watch to the end. Now you can use either 2 yards or 2.5 yards of ankara print. So this is a beautiful ankara print I'm going to be working with. Go ahead and fold your fabric into 4. We're cutting both front and back together like you see me do. Now you're going to be using the biggest part of your body, might be your hip, divided by 4 plus minimum 4 inches. Now mark half of an inch at the beginning of your fabric. This will be our guide where all our markings will be coming from. Since it's more like an off shoulder, I'm going to be subtracting 6 inches. Now my 6 inch is resting on the half inch. Do you understand? So from there, that's where all our markings will be coming from. So from that minus 6 inches, I'm going to be marking my armhole, my chest line, which normally is supposed to be 9 inches, but since it's an off shoulder, I'm going to be using 8 inches. So minus 1 inch from your normal armhole measurement. Then I'll go ahead and mark my bust point, I mark my waist point, and I mark my hip point, and then the full length of this dress. Now I used 40 inches plus hemming allowance. I'll go ahead and cut it out so we can go ahead and concentrate with the fabric we're going to be using. Okay, so my round armhole divided by 4, okay, divided by 2, sorry, armhole is by 2. I'm supposed to be using 9 inches, but since this is an off shoulder, so it sits well on my armhole, I decided to subtract 1 inch from it. So still subtracting the 6 inches off shoulder, I marked 8 inches. I hope you understand. So do same for your own so you get a perfect fit. So now what you're going to do now is go ahead and extend the lines. These are the fabrics we're going to be working with. Okay, extend your lines. That's why I say you can use 2 inches, 2 yards, sorry, or 2.5 yards of fabric is perfect. You will get a perfect fit. It's very simple. So this is my bust line. So our half inch is at the top, don't forget. So at this chest line, I'm going to be marking my bust circumference divided by 4 plus 1 inch sewing allowance, and I'm extending that to my bust point. Okay, so after marking this out, I'm just going to extend it to my bust line. On my waist, it's not really necessary since it's a free dress, so I'm just going to use my bust circumference at my waist area, not adding the 1 inch sewing allowance. I hope you understand. But if you want to add it to make it free all the way, you can do that. Now I'm going to be marking my hip divided by 4 plus 3 inches, and I'm taking that straight all the way down to the hem of the dress, more like an A-line shape. I hope you understand. Okay, your waist, you're not going to be marking your waist at your waist point. I use my bust circumference at my waist point. I marked my hip divided by 4 at my hip point plus 3 inches, and I extended it. Now at the top point for my neck width, I'm going to be using 4.5 inches. Okay, now from that 4.5 inch, I'm going to slant it to my armhole line, that chest line I marked in a curved manner. I hope you're seeing what I'm doing. From that your 4.5 inch neck width, connect it to that your chest line, that armhole line, that 8 inches. And now for the depth, I'm going to be working with 2 inches. Now this 2 inches neck depth, I'm using the same thing for both front and back. But if you want the back to be deeper, you can always adjust it to maybe 3 or 4 inches, okay? But I just want to use same for both front and back. And that's all. It's as simple as that. Go ahead and cut. I'm cutting out my neck depth. I'm cutting out my armhole. Okay, then go ahead and cut out the sides. So from the hip line, you can slant it out some more, or you just take it straight down to the hem of the fabric. It's a very simple tutorial. It's not shapy, it's not a shapy dress like what you saw on me. Okay, it has to be free. And that's it. Can you see what we have? Your dress is ready. This is what we have. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to be attaching a pocket to this, okay? But before we go ahead, now I have my fabric folded into four, what we had left at the lower part. I'm going to place this to cut out a facing. Even if this is a simple dress you can wear to the market, wear it around the house, we still need to turn it for it to come out neat, okay? So make sure the center part is well aligned and unfold. Your facing too has to be unfold. So go ahead and trace out the neckline, the armhole, and the sides, okay? If you've been watching my tutorial by now, you should know how to cut a facing properly. So just trace the exact same thing. But if you're using a different neckline for the back, after cutting it out, kindly adjust, okay? So I'm cutting out the same thing on the sides. Go ahead and align the sides and your facing is ready. Can you see what we have? So I'm just going ahead to trim off this selvage. Then don't forget to hem or weave the hem of this your facing, okay? And that's it, our facing is ready, okay, for both front and back. Remember, it's on fold, so we're cutting the two at once. This is our facing. And then the length of this my facing is 10 inches, okay? I used 10 inches for my facing, and we're done with the top part. So what we're going to do next, from my waistline I'm going to go upward by 1 inch and I'll notch it. I'm notching both front and back. This is where we're going to be attaching our pockets from, okay? So go ahead and notch that part so you know where your pocket is going to be starting from. So now I'm bringing in this leftover fabric that I have, okay? So I'm going ahead to fold it into two. Please kindly note the way I'm folding this. We're going to go ahead to cut out the ruffles for the shoulder. You fold it into four, the way you see me fold. Can you see what I'm doing? And then you go ahead and fold again into six. See the part I'm folding from. So this 6 is going to give you 2 full circle ruffles. I hope you understand. I'm folding it again for you to understand. First, our fabric is on a fold of 2, okay? Now, after folding into, go ahead and fold it into 4 this way, okay? And then go ahead again and fold it the way you see me do into 2 again, making it 6. I hope you understand. So from this angle here that is folded, there's no open part here. This is where you're going to be marking the radius of your flay. So since this doesn't really have a calculation, you're going to determine the length of your ruffle, what you want. So the length of my ruffle is 5 inches. After marking 5 inches, what I have left is 3.5. Remember, we're going to create little pleats, okay? So you need that excess. There's really no calculation. Determine the length of your ruffles, then add what you want for your pleats and cut out your radius. So after marking the 3.5 round to create my radius, from that 3.5 radius, I'm going to mark round my 5 inches length of ruffles. I hope you understand. Now, if we're doing a skirt, you use your waist circumference divided by 6.28. You can do same if you want to, but the simple way to go about this, I don't want this class to be too complicated. It's a very beginner friendly class. Go ahead and determine the length you want for your ruffles, and then 3.5 is very okay for any person to use, for all sizes, for your ruffles, okay? That will help you as a guide for your radius. And you go ahead and cut this out. Now when you open this out up, you will have 2 full circles, one for one sleeve, one for the other sleeve. Now we're going to be creating this kind of design at the edge of one part, okay? One part is going to be smaller than the other part. There's really no calculation for this, okay? Now go ahead and open up one part, okay? You're going to slash one part open. Now we have two. So from the center, see the way I'm doing my hand. There's no calculation really. Just pencil this to the tip of this other part. See the way I'm doing? You can pencil it to 1 inch below or pencil it right, any design you want to create. But what we're trying to do is we want the tip, the edge of one side of the circle to be smaller than the other part. I hope you understand. But you can decide to leave yours the way it is. Okay, so I'm just going ahead to cut out. I ended up cutting to the tip anyway. Okay, so this is what we're going to have. When you open this up, you have a full circle with the other parts being smaller than the other parts. Okay, this is part of the design we're going to create at the shoulder. Can you see what we have? So we have two ruffles. So when you create your pleat, it will come out beautiful on your shoulder. So what you're going to do, you can go ahead to fold the tips, but I used my bias tape, okay, to turn the flay part, okay, of my sleeve. Now I'm going to use this to cut out my pocket. Remember, this is on a fold, okay, to give me my pockets. You're going to manage this as much as you can, but it will come out perfect. So I'm just going ahead to place my hand to create a curve, but ensure at this open part you have minimum 7 inches, okay? You can do 8. After using half of an inch to sew, you'll be left with 7 inches, okay? So I have 7 inches at the opened part. Go ahead and trace your finger, your hand, sorry. Just place your hand and then trace the way your hand is, like you see me do. I've done this tutorial before, okay? So go ahead and cut this out. Now the length of this my pocket is 10 inches. Can you see? I'm trimming off any form of excess on the sides. So the length of this my pocket, I want it to be 10 inches. So the excess I have there, I'm just going to go ahead and trim this off. So the length of my pocket is 10 inches, and then the width and all is my hand, sorry guys, my hand. I'm going to place this on another fabric that is on fold to trace the exact same thing and cut out. Remember, we're doing 4 pieces of these pockets, 2 for the front, 2 for the back, okay? So go ahead and cut out 4 pieces of this fabric. So I'm tracing out the exact same thing on another fabric. It's as simple as that, and then you go ahead and cut out. So kindly give this video a thumbs up if you've watched up to this point. I'm really grateful that you stopped by. Thank you. So now we have 4 pieces of our pockets, okay? And that's what we're going to be attaching to our fabric. So now guys, we'll go ahead to cut out the strap where our ruffles is going to be sitting. The length of this strap is going to be 12 inches. Remember, we minus 6 inches from our shoulder. So 6 for the front, 6 for the back, making up 12 inches. I hope you understand. So the strap from front to back is 12 inches. So if you subtracted 5 inches, you're going to be working with 10 inches. I hope you understand. So I'm just going to go ahead and trim off the sides so I can have a straight line to work with. Now the length of my strap on fold, I'm going to be marking 1.5 inches. So when you open this up, it's 3 inches, but on fold is going to be 1.5. By the time we fold in 1/4 of an inch on both sides, we'll be left with 1 inch for our strap. If you want your strap to be smaller, okay, tinier, like the one we have on the thumbnail, you can go ahead and mark at 1 inch. After folding 1/4 of an inch, you'll be left with half of an inch, okay? But I worked with 1.5 inches, okay? Now after folding, I was left with 1 inch for my strap, okay? So whatever you want that works fine with you, you can do that, okay? So I used 1.5 for the width of my strap, and then the length is 12 inches. You can go ahead and do 13 inches, use half of an inch for joining, but I didn't want any form of excess. I wanted it to lap very well up my shoulder. So I took exact 12 inches, okay? And I'm trimming off the excess that I have. And this is what we have, okay? And I have two of these, one for one of my shoulder, one for the other shoulder. So this is 1.5 by 12 inches. This is what we have for our strap, and it's on fold. So you're going to go ahead to your ironing table, and what you're going to do is you fold in quarter of an inch or half of an inch on one side, fold in on the other side, and then flip it together. Just watch the way I'm doing. Fold in quarter of an inch, press it down, fold this other open part as well, press it down, and then you collapse the both of them together, and make sure it's well aligned and iron it flat. This ironing is very important. It will guide us on attaching our ruffles, and then you hem your ruffles. I've gone ahead to do this, guys, and this is what we have for our strap. Can you see what we have? I've gone ahead to fold in quarter of an inch or half of an inch, whatever you want to use, on both sides. Can you see what I have? Okay. After ironing that in, I went ahead to collapse it together and make sure it's well aligned, and I ironed it flat. And now I have 1 inch left. Okay, I hope this is understandable. Now for my ruffles, I've gone ahead to use my bias. Okay, I have a tutorial on my channel on how to use a bias tape to pipe any edge. So if you don't know how to use a bias tape, go ahead and watch that tutorial. Okay, so I've gone ahead to turn this with a bias tape. So what we're going to do next is this. From the both sides of the ruffles, I'm going to be marking 3 inches. You can do 2 inches if you want to. Okay, our ruffles is not going to be starting right from our chest line, so we're marking upwards 3 inches from the front, 3 inches from the back. So what you have left at the center, that's where your ruffles is going to be. I hope you understand. You're not going to be ruffling before the 3 inches, but after the 3 inches mark. Okay, so this is how you're going to place this. The opened part that you've not piped from your 3 inches mark. Okay, you put in your ruffle and start pleating it down. Start pleating it down. Ensure whatever pleats you're creating, you can do a gather stitch. Whatever you're doing ends at the 3 inches mark you marked at the other parts. Okay, you can choose to open this up and create your gathers first. After creating it, then you can use the other part to cover it up and top stitch again. Okay, whichever method works for you, but make sure your ruffle stops exactly at the 3 inches mark and it starts right at the 3 inches mark. Okay, and you go ahead and stitch this down. You do same for the other ruffle, the other shoulder as well. So let's go to the sewing machine. Let me quickly show you guys how to achieve this. So here we are. We have our ruffles. I'm going to mark my 3 inches again. Let me show you guys how to do this. Mark your 3 inches, and from the open part at the other part, mark your 3 inches as well. Now make sure this 3 inches you're marking is showing at this other part, the inner part that you folded in. Okay, so you can see and know where to start from and where to stop. Okay, so that's what you're going to do. Can you see what we have? My 3 inches is reflecting at this other part as well. Can you see the marking? Go ahead and mark it. Let it be visible enough. So this is where our ruffles is going to start from, and this part is where it is going to end. So bring in your ruffle, not the side you piped with your bias tape, but the opened part, the rough part. Okay, now put the strap, okay, put it down and then ensure the wrong part of your ruffles is what is facing your strap, just the way you see me place this. Okay, that's why I brought it to the sewing machine so you guys can see. Okay, you can decide how you want your pleats to be. Okay, look at the way I'm folding mine. Ensure you're starting from the 3 inches mark that you marked, or 2 inches, depending on what you want. Put it in between your strap. Ensure you push the ruffles inside so it doesn't show up or pop up at the other side of the ruffle. Okay, so go ahead and top stitch. Sew forward and backward to hold it in place. Okay, now carefully create your pleats or gathers. Okay, I'm using method 3 of the gathers we made. I think the second tutorial on this channel was on how to make gathers, 3 different methods. So I'm using method 3. You can create pleats or gathers. After gathering, push it inside the open part of your strap. Make sure it's sitting well, and sew right at the edge, right at the tip of your strap. Okay, can you see? As you're sewing, make sure you're watching your 3 inches and you see what is left of your ruffle so you know how much pleats to create. Make sure your ruffling ends at the 3 inches mark, unless you want yours to go all the way to the chest line. Okay, so if you want to achieve what I did, kindly follow the way I'm doing it. Kindly create your pleats, push it inside your strap, and then you continue stitching at the edge of your strap. Can you see what we have? Now, I've seen my 3 inches mark. I'm close to it, so I'm going to fold in. I'm going to ensure that I fold in the excess that is left. It's as simple as that. And you go ahead and sew it in place. Okay, continue to sew until you get to the 3 inches mark, and then you stop right there. So ensure you take your time. If it's poking out, kindly push it in, okay, so it doesn't come out. Okay, take your time carefully, and then I sew it in place. And we've gotten to the end. This is what I have. It's as simple as that. Okay, and this is so beautiful. I'm loving this already. This is so beautiful. So can you see what we have? This is so nice. Okay, so you realize that this other part is open because we didn't stitch from the very beginning. We wanted to keep our ruffle in place. So go ahead and stitch it down now from the edge, from this other end to the other end. Sew it in place. Sew close to the tip with your nice and tiny stitch. That's why you need a matching color thread so your work can still come out neat. Okay, and sew all the way, sew on the stitch you made earlier. Okay, as you sew down, arrange your ruffles in place. Please, if you've watched this tutorial up to this point and you've not given this video a thumbs up or subscribe, you're wrong. Please kindly like and subscribe so you can get more interesting and educating tutorials. So go ahead and top stitch all the way to the end of the fabric. So after everything, this is what we have. Go ahead and do same. I've done the other shoulder already, and this is what you have. Can you see this? This is what we have. Can you see? So go ahead and iron this out. Okay, so back to our table. We have prepared our ruffles and our shoulder is ready. Okay, this is what we have. So you go ahead and bring in your fabric. I'm going to be showing us how to attach this and use your facing, okay, to turn this neatly. So for me, both front and back is the same neckline, so I'm just going to pick one, okay, to do the front illustration. So you're going to open it up on the right side. I'm opening this up on the right side. I'm going to bring in my shoulder ruffle. Remember this shoulder, we cut it out for both front and back. Okay, so what we're going to do next is this: you bring this in. Now when you're bringing in your shoulder ruffle, mind the way you place it. If you place it this way, this ruffle will be facing inside. I hope you understand. If you place it this way, to face inside, not outside. So if you want yours to face inside, this is where you determine this. Okay, if you want yours to face outside, this is where you determine this. Okay, but I want mine to face outside. Okay, so go ahead and place this carefully. Take your time to do these placements. So I placed mine this way because I want the ruffles to be outside, not inside. So I'm going ahead to pin this in place. Go ahead and work with your pin. I'm pinning down with 1/4 inch, not up to 1/2 inch. Okay, pin it in place, and then you're going to bring in your facing. Also pick one of the facing. Okay, flip your ruffles, let them lay on your fabric, right sides facing right side. And then you're also going to bring in your facing, right sides facing right side. You're going to align it, and then I'm bringing out my pin because I'm pinning the three things together. I'm pinning my main fabric, the shoulder ruffle, and the facing together. So watch how you're going to sew. You're going to sew from the armhole, follow the curve. Okay, very important. From the armhole, from the edge of the armhole to the neckline to the other part of the armhole. Go ahead and pin everything neatly in place. Make sure everything is well aligned. And when you're done, you're going to flip this, follow my finger. Okay, sew it. And when you're done, we'll flip this to the right side. So after sewing, I've gone ahead to sew this. You're going to notch. Make sure you notch very well so it relaxes. Can you see what we have? So go ahead and notch the neckline, notch the armhole, notch every part of it so it relaxes perfectly. So just watch what I'm doing. Go ahead and create your notches, notch and notch and notch. And when you flip this over to the right side, this is what you're going to be having. Okay, this is what you have. Can you see how neat this is, even without ironing this out yet? Okay, now when you want to iron, you can decide to use your hemming gum at the neckline and armhole to really help it relax better. Okay, can you see how beautiful and neat this is? Okay, I can't wait to rock this. It's a very simple tutorial, so just go ahead and make sure you try this out. So let me quickly show you guys how to attach the back piece, the back part to this. Okay, our shoulder is in place, the front is in place. So what you're going to do next is this: you're going to bring in the other piece that you left for your back piece. You're going to lay this right side facing the right side of your front piece. Okay, and then you flip the shoulder, right side facing the right side too of the fabric. Pin it in place. Okay, and you're also going to place this other shoulder. Can you see what we have? Place this other shoulder like that and pin it in place. Please ensure you do this carefully so you don't mistakenly turn it around wrongly. Okay, and also pin it in place. You're going to bring in your facing. Your facing is going to be laying right sides facing right sides of your fabric as well. Okay, you're going to turn your facing to the right side. Okay, right sides facing each other, and you flip in your shoulder. Okay, flip everything inside and sew down. Now when you're done with that, go ahead and stitch down your pockets. Remember where we made our notches? Okay, So go ahead and lay your pockets right sides facing each other. Okay, place it from that notched part, and then what you're going to do is to stitch it down, stitch it straight down to where the pocket ends. I'm going to go ahead and do this for the other sides of the pocket as well. So after stitching this down, can you see our pockets in place, our top, our shoulder are facing in place? Please go ahead and weave or hem the lower part of your facing. So let me show us how to turn this neatly. Pick up the back facing and the front facing. Make sure they are well aligned at the armhole part. You're going to stitch straight down from the facing into the fabric, sew into the pocket like this round, and then go back to the hem of the fabric. Okay, I'll show us one more time. Put this together, make sure your armhole is well aligned with the front and back. Stitch with the 1-inch sewing allowance that we left. Stitch it all the way down into the pocket round to the hem part, 1 inch all the way, and do same for the other parts. And when you're done, you're going to go ahead and hem the lower part of your dress. Fold in 1/4 inch and fold in again 1 inch and hem it round. And after doing all of that, guys, this is what we have. Can you see our pocket sitting pretty on both sides? I love this. You can rock this at home, rock this to the market, rock this to the mall. It's a simple and beautiful dress. Please, if you watched this tutorial up to this time and you've not given this video a thumbs up, please kindly do that and subscribe. Look at our shoulder ruffle and neckline, the back part, and I want to show us the inside. Can you see how neatly finished the inside is? Okay, so thank you guys for stopping by for today's tutorial. Kindly subscribe so you'll be notified when next I put up another tutorial. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate you, and give this video a thumbs up till I see you guys next time. Bye bye. Thank you.